And we're back. Well, for me, it was just 1 second. For you guys, it was probably like a week, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe 2 days. I don't know. Considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Horman. We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state here clearly and concisely for the court the grounds of which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Alrighty then. Another jury's judicial findings, God. The jurors' contentions. The accused left behind evidence at the scene. Didn't he? Those 3 books of his. Well, that's his. That I cannot change. If there was some novel alternative explanation about the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime if the window was closed, can it? Dearie me! It was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even if with a direct hit. Who knows what you throw at her, but though. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire a whole while ago if you gave me a sneezes. Why I gave him that voice? He was like, oh, well, I can't hear you. Like that. Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. Except for the last guy, with one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness's testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover, no one else was even at the scene of to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued with any other way. That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. How? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was, thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruto, you could do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure then, again. Not quite remarkable enough preamble. Proceed with the jury examination. I can't talk. Summation examination. I presume you are prepared, counsel. Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke. Focus your mind. Right now. Focus. You got this. Clearly, the key is to this jury summation examination is going to be jury number 4, the maid. Or should I say Mrs. Garadib? We have a book that disappeared from the Garadib's house in the evening of the incident. And the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learnt in my short career so far. Whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garadib and how she reacts, even to the things other people say. Wait, what? We can do that? I didn't know we can do that. Wait a minute, we can do that? Wait. Hold it! As we now know, there are 4 books, not 3. We can do this? Holy shit, that's so fucking cool. Okay. Anyways. Well, what difference does it make? there's every possibility that the fourth book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying the fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened. I think that's what you call a strong alibi. So it couldn't have been a landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this traveler's about. It is done deal, isn't it? I suppose it is, since I've nothing witty to left to say. You were saying witty stuff? I mean, I didn't know that. There's an alternate explanation about the victim. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. There could be. So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you say, think of me. I am very modern, metropolitan, and a rational woman. No, I'm not. I'm just letting you know. I'm reading the dialogue. I'm not. By the way, that's great. I'm a man with no respect. Well, whatever she said. I'm the opposite. If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking. Oh, there you go, modern. I'm not modern. I'm not metropolitan, and I'm not rational. I'm not a rational thinker. Wouldn't you say? And not all extreme. As I see it, it's overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. And so despite one of the two minor possibilities, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say? Overwhelmingly. But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. Oh, cool. So you are part of the trend. So I'd be only too happy to consider the exciting new theory if you could come up with one. I'd be happy to do that too. If only I could. If only you could, Ryunosuke. Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady. Oh my god. Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. Alright, I don't know why that was a cute interaction between them. Anyways, you, whatever your face is, they're drawing number 3. But what about the possibility the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecution fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite the sort of cold indoors. So no, the window wasn't open, as Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have it opened. That's what the point. Then what's the point in even having windows, huh? Console, you were kindly referring to childish bickering. Oopsies! I'm sorry. Somehow I need to show that there's undeniable possibility the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. Is he stupid? Did he forget that there's a fire in the during this was happening? What the fuck? Hold it! Is he stupid? But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not? With flames of love, I'll have you know. I don't want that kind of love. There's really no such thing of loving incendiary bomb. Holy shit, why are you trying to slap him? Well, he brought it up himself. It's playing with fire to betray a fiery love. Well, he didn't do shit. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Any kind of betrayal is a certainly bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have been arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett. Stop fucking trying to hit the guy! Jesus Christ! Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. Ooh, I tried to hit him again. And I won't have any more of those suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime. Alright, well, we'll see about that. But what about the juror number 5? I feel bad for him. Yeah, well, he's trying to slap him again. He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrett's relentless onslaughts. Jeez, I bet he's used to it. It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. He's not even getting slapped. And he wants to like, I want it to be over with, hurry up. You just want to get this over with. How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future's at stake here. I already said the same thing before. Well, him and me are both then, like I said before. What? I told you already, I am a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring some readies for me with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. My missus isn't one of the mess about. You know, you can be fierce. She can be fierce, believe you me. Alright, another shining example of marital bliss then. A situation like this cropped up the other day where it was, well, do you know it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry? It was too frightening that the thing must have been blocked out. Helpful. I wonder if Mr. P will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf. I don't think he will. It feels like she loves him so much, honestly. I don't even go there, Mrs. Sato. But there must be a way to jog his memory about this. Maybe. Come to think of it, there was a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry, what's that? You have to speak up, lad. Oh my god. I said, could you tell us more about the fire? It was last winter I heard you that time. My children baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on top, it did. And a sight to behold it was. How sweet of them. You put candles on cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Of course not. It was an angel cake, I swear, to celebrate my birthday, obviously. It seems like a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruto. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. But only I could blow you. Only I must have blown the wrong was blown it wrong somehow, eh? The flames didn't go out. The candles went flying all over the room. Well, how? What kind of candles were there? The furniture caught, and everything went up, and the whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like a devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold, but how did you catch a cold from a fire? Oh, what a fiasco it was. The grandchildren blasted them, threw water over as they tried to put out the flames. And then because the room was filled with smoke, of course, we had to open the windows to clear it. The windows? The biting winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. I knew it was a devil worship all along. But something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked a young woman from the street, as well as how we or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept the alternative explanation. Yes. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions. Just connection might do the trick. Alright. I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike. That's the spirit. Well, hopefully we get it. Actually, I do know which ones we should pick. First off, we need to pit this guy with him.
Objection.
Because there's like, why would the person have a window open? Well, we already know. These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. Oh, sorry about the cut. I thought I heard someone outside. Sorry about that. Anyways, how exactly console? Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? You see what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, and if the room was filled with smoke from the fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Wait a minute! Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Geradev household. And Mr. Geradev had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke. Oh my hot! And what's wrong?
Excuse me.
Lady? Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that? Mrs. Geradev! Oh, dearie me! What's the meaning of this? How dare you imply I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? I beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. Tells it. And what if we did? Alright, then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open up the window, which can't have been easy since I continue to give him the justly deserved book batting. Even though your house was on fire? Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise. Brother! No, oh god, I feel bad for the husband. I really do. Of course. I've realized that. Oh. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruto. You managed to establish the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garadev's former statement. Now that you mention it, it was a window. The window was open the time. I claimed and forgotten, but it's true. The window could have been open when the woman was throwing books. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. What the hell? I might reconsider. So if the window was open, can we pit this with them? Honestly? Actually, wait. I'm gonna press on this right now, rather than just like do the pit right now. We got more information. The 4th book found on the scene of the crime scene shows very obvious signs of fire damage. In the title of the book, The Lion's Pride, the same title, in fact, as the book of Mr. Geradev told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I can't recall. This is what you're gonna say. I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurried it straight to him. And now you can come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Oh my god, are you serious? Stop trying to hit him. Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay hands on, as well as you know. I really don't. I barely noticed it was a very book, much less a title of it. Oh, he remembers something. What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I got PTSD right now. I remember what that weird was. That memory I blocked out. Huh? I was listening to that and this granny was saying, but brought this, it all brought him back. Stop calling me granny. Who are you calling a granny? You cheeky devil. I'm Mrs. Garrett or the maid, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's used to being hit at all times. It was about 2 weeks ago now. And I just got home after work like. I put my hand in my pocket and for the wages I just earned that day. And I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh no! Oh dear! What a disaster! You haven't heard the half of it of a boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight I lost the day's wages love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear, stuck into the wall to me. It did. About an inch deep. Holy shit, no words! Just terror! Hey, someone save my man! He may be buff, he may look strong, but someone save him! He can't handle his wife! I could smell it then, you know, the god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night. I can tell you. Do you have kids? I have a feeling you have kids. No, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Listen, Naruto, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. Susato, you're the last person. You're the last person to say that too. Because I know for a fact you wouldn't throw. I know you wouldn't throw books, knives, or anything the sort. But I know you would throw the person themselves. You've done that with Yunosuke 4 times now. Don't even. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least act with honor. Okay, never mind. Using a bow or the like. Never mind. What? Attack? What are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words. Wait, Susato! Are you having a crush on Ryunosuke? Holy shit. Okay, never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. By the way, if you don't know, it is canon, and it is expected that these two do become a couple or get married. So, anyways, could it be rather significant, I think. In my opinion, not in my opinion, but in my hand canon, I do believe they get together. So, it's kind of cute. So, alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later if I dare. She seems excited that one day she gets married, she would actually have to do that to Ryunosuke. A woman's rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought the home to me. There's a novel alternative. Yes, there's a. There you go. So we need to get this guy's information. He's like, oh, what? Those two statements clearly have deeply insignificant in connection. You mean they don't contradict each other? Explain consort at once. Juror number 2. Do you think perhaps that this could have been such a novel alternative? Oh my, what do you mean? Oh, why am I giving her that voice? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, was found at the scene of the crime. Originated in Mr. Garadeb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from Mr. Garadeb's household to the street below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Garadeb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now? You little beanpole! I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of the book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling that this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. Are you, as the foreman of the jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us a yarn with some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But you have to do it. I'm certain. At the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman. I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that was found its way to Mr. Garadeb's household at the scene of the crime was the knife. Do it. Juror number 4, Mrs. Garadeb. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. Is this knife? Have you ever seen this knife before? Huh?
Consul, what are you doing? That's a weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man.
I wish he didn't interrupt. I wanted him to see if she would see it and did not know. Like, I was hoping that she didn't recognize it as a murder weapon, but more like, oh, that's from my house, like that. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garadeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window that was open to clear the smoke and through which a book sailed and landed at the crime scene.
You can certainly believe that. The book was found in the victim's grasp.
Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street and landed neatly in her hand?
Oh, even the Mrs. hasn't got any aim like that.
Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't know yet. Understand, but that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my. Oh, I heard everything now. Mrs. Garadeb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Open your eyes, please. Oh god. How convenient of her. This answered our theory.
My lord!
Oh, my lord, I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all. Yes, the metropolitan, rational thinking, and I forgot what the other one was. Modern woman. Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
Mr. Foreman!
I have to agree. Not that I think the granny did it, mine.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All's well now, ladies and gents.
What about you, old man? Oh, you did not hear everything, huh? Fuck you, old man. I swear. I hate the guy. I really do.
We did it?
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruto.
So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, our jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of the courts has divided, and the trial will continue.
We did it. Wow. That was fast. I thought it was gonna take us a long while now. Don't tell me. Oh, I was gonna say to be continued. Holy shit. Unless right now it is to be continued. And I end the episode right here. Oh my god, shut up. I'm just kidding. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Now to Lord 1-6. How does the prosecution wish to proceed? I thought he was gonna throw the bottle again. This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing, save the gutter. If I may, Lord Von Zix, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's this angle at this time? It should already be more up than apparent between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means the distance of the Garrett's house is to the scene is yes, 15 yards. Let me see. 15 yards? That's around 14 meters. 14 meters? Oh, that's farther than I imagined. And as you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, rightly noted as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, blatantly heard by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Maybe it dropped in front of her and she picked it up. Ever think about that, freaking Barrack Von Zix? Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife followed a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that. That prosecution loves the sound of his own voice. Mrs. Alto, I love his voice too. Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leanings. As such, the court has a duty to explore this alternate explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joanne Garridan, must be called to testify and submit a cross-examination.
Saints alive. A cross-examination of a juror.
Well, she hasn't really stated. She saw it.
Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned as a witness stand.
Objection!
And unnecessary.
Lord 1-6. There are already
witnesses in the stand whose testimony of the defense may further cross-examine. And my learned friend, partial theory, has any truth in it. Then both a burning book and a jackknife must have been flown through the sky before his couple's eyes. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly.
What do say you, witnesses?
I'm awake now. That's a good nap. Yes, sir. Constable Rolly B. reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing off until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month. Holy fuck! On account of the villains who's appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon.
Well, I hereby reject the defense's request.
Oh?
In order to witnesses to descend to testify again. Schedule forthwith before the court any details betraying the defense's alternative explanation of events before you fall asleep again.
Yes, sir! He's awake! Good morning, Mr. Beat. Good morning. And we're ending up here. We're ending it up here.